Dota 2 fans, for our game 2 of a best of 3. This is our last series of the day in the SLTV Pro Series Season 11 playoffs. We are HeflaTV, your English coverage, HoG as BBC. HoG taking game 1 in 52 minutes. A little bit of an outdraft in the sense that BBC's draft was a little bit too susceptible to the BKB counter, but other than that, pretty much just an outplay from HoG, standout play from Slash Strikes, Storm Spirit. Coucher, what are your thoughts on what BBC needs to do to take this to a deciding game 3?
Definitely not go for such an easily counterable lineup. So do not go for Leshrac core this time. That's step number 1 probably.
Yeah, they're going to ban out Padrino's heroes right away here with the Broodmother and the Slark.
Oh man, to be honest, it's kind of thing that happened against Fnatic at one point for when they were playing, let's say, Lone Druid a hell of a lot.
Right.
Or just you take out like Tiny or IO at one point, and Fnatic, they were just done for. They weren't practiced enough in other lineups. It's a little bit so with Balkan Bears. Maybe not as much, but it's just take the enemy out of the comfort zone and you're halfway there already.
Yeah, definitely something we see a lot from BBC is they like a lot of aggressive lineups, and Slark certainly one of the hero that is, helping out with that kind of strategy. Leshrac is a little bit more of a core who needs to be in your face, pushing your towers at all times, and needs to be standing around in engagements to get a lot done rather than making solo pickoffs. And perhaps, as you mentioned, HoG able to take BBC out of their comfort zone in that sense and making them ball up and just taking better engagements, good initiation from Slash Strike all around. And HoG gonna pick up Slash Strike's hero, it seems, first overall here with the Death Prophet.
You mean Death Prophet isn't, well, at least it's not considered as first pick material at the moment anymore, but that's not to say that it's not that strong of a hero. But what will we see as the follow-up picks? Are we gonna see like Chakiro, maybe offlane Nature's Prophet? Are they going for more of an all-out pushy strategy, maybe a Lycan even, or is it just Death Prophet with maybe just Dazzle, go for more of the teamfight orientation?
Yeah, we could see something like a Dazzle, a Faceless Void, if they let the Void slip through. That combos pretty well with the DP. I don't feel like HoG puts it all into one basket and goes heavy push here. So we will see 1-2 Skywrath Lion from BBC here. So Ancient Seal, obvious synergy with the Finger of Death, and they will have a very nice roaming combo in the Lion Skywrath. Both of these heroes need some farm, at least levels, if not that, though. So I do worry for their ability there. But they will be able to get a lot done with the disables from Lion and the silence from the Skywrath. It looks like they will go team fight oriented for HoG here. They're going to pick up the Wraith King, and he's a pretty flexible pick here. What do you feel that this will be, support or core?
I'm hoping for support.
Yeah.
Although I guess core can work in some senses, but already Lion and Skywrath just with concussive shot as well as Lion's Hex and Earth Spike. Lots of ways to kite around the Wraith King. Just Wraith King is a little bit too easy to kite around in most cases, to be honest, but the draft, the start of it for House of Gamers, it feels like we've reverted back in time like 6 months or so.
Yeah, and I feel like for that exact reason, his kite ability and his lack of ability to farm quickly, Wraith King is a pretty bad one position in my opinion. So I do like him a lot better in the support role, as you mentioned. Of course, he's not the most ideal target for the Ancient Seal Finger of Death combo because it won't garner you a kill the first time around. So definitely expect that to be a support from HoG, as you mentioned. And we will see the Anti-Mage ban coming out from HoG here. So for obvious reasons, Anti-Mage is good versus Wraith King, so perhaps that indicates that he might be a core, but Anti-Mage just generally a good and elusive carry, and versus the Death Prophet, you want a carry who you can lock down and keep pinned down for that exorcism to do a lot of work. Perhaps they opt for something like the Clockwork in that sense for HoG. They could go right back for the Storm Spirit as well and put him in the safe lane with the DP in the mid lane, or vice versa. But IO ban comes out for BBC, and they're going to look to take their second ban here, which is going to be a Moment's Disruptor. They won't give that back to him in this game too.
So at the moment, I think House of Gamers banning out the Anti-Mage and Medusa might definitely be one of the picks. First of all, Petrification from that Stone Gaze means you take 100% extra physical damage. Death Prophet's Exorcism is physical, so that's going to be pretty damn devastating to go up against. And also, Wraith King's Vampiric Blood Aura into the Medusa, just having 30% lifesteal. My freaking god, that hero is hard enough to kill anyway as it is. And well, House of Gamers now going for an Ancient Apparition instead. Brave Fire Blast should be plenty of setup for the Cold Feet in most cases at least, so that's decent-ish. I mean, Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is always a bitch to deal with, to be honest, especially if you're a squishy hero like the Lion or the Skyraf.
Yeah, and HoG's lineup is setting up really well for a Faceless Void pick. I'm going to expect that ban coming out from BBC if they don't pick it up here for themselves. Mystic Flare, Faceless Void, pretty good combo. They're going to pick up the Clockwork themselves, actually, so this is something that actually pairs nicely with the Death Prophet. They'll pick it against the DP and probably see a Blade Mail build from the Clockwork. We'll see the Clockwork HoG Mystic Flare combo to be available for BBC as well, but they are lacking some right click and some physical damage, and that was the problem that they had last game, is that they were entirely magic damage oriented. So we probably will see something like you mentioned in the Dusa, although you were saying for HoG, something like the Dusa. Anti-Mage already banned out, Faceless Void still in the pool here, PA is there as well, and PA not too bad against the Death Prophet with the Blur. So it'll be interesting to see what BBC round their lineup out with, but I feel like this is the perfect setup for a Faceless Void pickup for HoG, and we'll see if they agree with me on that front.
Oh, it would definitely be pretty damn strong. Oh god. Well, at least BBC, they have quite a lot of lockdown themselves, and going for a Rubik, I guess there's a reasonable amount of spells to steal. Getting a Hex or Earthspike from Lion can be excellent. Dream Coil from Puck if you manage to steal that, which definitely not that easy to do, to be honest. Even Cogs from Clockwork or Hookshot. But I actually mean, Rubik, is this a game where you're gonna just go for like maybe 1 or 2 points into telekinesis and then go for null field?
Perhaps. There is a lot of magic damage, and maybe that's a reason that they picked it up on their side. It looks like it will be a core Wraith King, and that explains the anti-mage ban earlier on. But as you mentioned, Wraith King pretty easily kiteable, and with things like Concussive Shot, Dream Coil, Cogs, Hex, Earth Spike, he's not going to be able to do a lot until he picks up a BKB in these engagements. So I do worry for his impact in these engagements. We will see the Faceless Void ban now from BBC. Not sure why HoG didn't pick that up for themselves, but obviously they were not planning on having that Wraith King run in a support role. They could have still run the Faceless Void in the offlane, however, and BBC will recognize the synergy with their lineup. Void also pretty damn good into Puck. Phase Shift not going to do much when you're Chronosphered, so we'll see what BBC rounds the lineup out with here, looking for a 1 position.
Did the Rubik come out? No, never mind. No, Clockwork came out before the Rubik,
Yes,
so
yes.
that makes it even harder for me to comprehend why they would still want to run a Wraith King core, to be honest. Just because getting past the cogs is going to be extremely freaking hard. This might actually be a game where Wraith King, instead of a Blink, you go for 4 staff.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, but in your ability to scale 4 staff, a pretty poop item later on, and if he has to commit some resources to that early on, as you mentioned, which definitely wouldn't be a bad call. That's going to be pretty poor. And in terms of kiting around, there'll probably be a Diffusal Blade here as well, and that'll save or fix the problem of mana burn into the Wraith King. So I really do like the way BBC has drafted here. Ricky also very squishy, so certainly susceptible to the Ice Blast and the Exorcism and some of this AoE damage from HoG, but they do have a lot of Space Creators in the Puck and the Clockwork, and a lot of Disable from the Lions. So I do like this last pickup from BBC. Very, very unorthodox from them.
Well, they're going to have to go for like a semi-poke strategy kind of thing if they want to make sure that they're going to stay in the running for this tournament. Just because if you lose, you're completely out. This is the lower bracket already as it is.
Yep.
So not too many chances left for BBC. But House of Gamers, how thrown off were they by the Ricky pick? I guess with their own lineup, they don't have too many choices for their next pick. Although, funny enough, the Brewmaster, for example, is still in the pool.
Yeah,
I mean, House of Gamers could easily go for like an aggro try, and oh god, oh man, what?
Putka is going to be in your game too. Get ready for this one. We saw a punch earlier today run by Eknart for Scary Faces, and not sure that they won that game. I believe they actually may have ended up losing. Scary Faces does run that often, and they did take a 2-1 series victory, but we'll see how this Pudge ends up panning out here. against the Clockwork is a pretty good pick against Clock. I mean, you can Cogs, and you're pretty much going to get a sure hook on either the Clockwork or your teammate who has been initiated on. So I don't mind the Pudge pickup here, but still, as we mentioned in the draft, very worried for this Wraith King and his ability to actually do any damage in these team fights before picking up a BKB.
Well, at least BBC, they don't have like the craziest of late game themselves, so... And the biggest worry, I think, is BBC, even if they completely wreck House of Gamers, pushing high ground, especially up against Ice Blast, for example, is going to be rather hard. There's going to be Fate Bolts to be spammed, Crypt Swarm as well. So, if they are actually going to go high ground at one point, they're going to have to rely on the hook shot just initiating things for them. Maybe the puck as well with an excellent one. But Padinho does get a glimpse of the Wraith King and Slash Strike now as well. God, that early enemies is so damn good. I mean, House of Gamers, they have no idea that they've been spotted out.
Yeah, and they're sitting in the Roche Pit looking to cook someone in from the rune here. And Padrino definitely will be weary of that, as well as his team. So probably not going to find the first blood off this is HoG. Either way, let's introduce the lineups for this game to BBC on the Radiant side. Massacre, you're going to go towards the off lane. Looking pretty pimp on that Clockwork. We've got Levi accompanying him for the time being on the line. Padrino sniping that bounty rune on his Ricky Stealth Assassin. Zenigata picking up the Skywrath Mage. And finally, Hockey in the mid once again on the puck.
As for House of Gamers, Grisine playing an off-lane Pudge. Oh god, I'm not a huge fan of it at all. Slash Strike though, heading towards the mid lane as was to be expected. He's on the Death Prophet this game. A moment playing the Rubik with Illusionist on the Ancient Apparition and leaving Brocksnack, their stand-in, to play the Wraith King. But man, Pudge, how well is he gonna fare against a tri-lane?
Yeah, not too sure that he'll do too well against that. The hook not going to be very effective when you're trying to find last hits underneath the wave. I would have liked to see perhaps them run him in the defensive tri-lane, but then again, they don't really have any other viable off-laner here, so dual lanes wouldn't have been that strong, definitely versus a Clockwork in the hands of Massacre as well. So yeah, I guess this is the only decision. Telekinesis up top onto Massacre. They'll bring him in close. He won't be able to Cogs. He'll walk to the north and look for the Cogs, but first blood found by Vrocksnack. And Massacre already going down to that tri-lane, so certainly some virtue by the lane choices by BB or HoG, I should say, and they find a nice first blood.
This is exactly why I thought that maybe going for an aggressive tri-lane might be fine, just because Chilling Touch, it is outwardly the damage. I mean, it cannot be really compared to most things. I guess Rocket Barrage can be the same, maybe Blade Fury as well if it gets the max damage output from it, but man, Rocksnack picking up the first blood. Brave King, definitely one of the better one position carries to go for or to go on for a Midas, so
yeah.
Is it going to be a Midas game?
I believe so. As I mentioned, he does struggle a bit to farm, and as you mentioned, the late game is a little bit to the edge of HoG, being that they have the Death Prophet Wraith King versus essentially what is a Ricky Puck Clockwork Tricore. So definitely would expect a Midas here, and will help out Vrocksnack's farm. Will allow him to get to that blink if that's his choice. And as you mentioned, perhaps could even go for the Force Staff. But either way, yeah, I definitely expect a Midas here. Not sure that I expect one from Ricky. Probably expect him to fight a little bit earlier as the Clockwork starts to get that hook shot and the blink comes out for Hockey's Puck.
So even though Massacre died, he's still level 3 comparing to Grisin's, well, 1. Almost level 2, but it's going to be a real struggle for the Pudge to do anything at all. I mean, you have bad movement speed even with boots. You have just crap base armor as well. That hero is definitely not meant for the offlane. The one positive is that you have a long range to level 1, and if it manages to connect on a support hero and you can bring them under the tower and you have a rot as well, you might get the kill, but
yeah,
just going for a gamble like that and place that hero in the offlane, there would have just been that many better choices. Even a Brewmaster offlane would have been a lot better. I'm not too sure, but the Tidal Hunter might still have been available as well. If not, just go for a Centaur. Help the Wraith King a bit with the mobility. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Stampede would have been really nice, actually, for their squad. For the Death Prophet and the Wraith King. So, not sure if that Centaur was still available. I don't remember him being banned out. Definitely would have been a good pick there, but yeah, I guess they want the Pudge later on for the Cogs, but Grisine not finding much. He's almost going to find his level 3 here, but a lot of denies happening in this bot lane. 2 from the Skywrath, 9 from the Ricky, more denies than in any other lane currently, and that's because Grisine's lane presence really is non-existent. And there will be some pulling going on through to the large camp. A moment
Mid lane
is going to
though,
TP in the mid, and Slash Strike has been impaled here. Waning Rift is going to go out onto him, but he'll be bottling up Crypt Swarm, and they'll find Levi. So nice return kill, good rotation in from a moment. Level 2 Fade Bolt doing some work there, and they bring down the Lion after having their Death Prophet beat Agreston. 2-0 is your score. HoG's favor 4 minutes in.
Man, a moment. If he gets the telekinesis on Massacre, it's going to be Brave Fire Blast, starts it all up. Slasher comes in with the haste rune as well. There's the telekinesis. Cheating touch, well, it was used, although probably not entirely necessary. Still, nice freaking kill. 3-0 early on. Unfortunately, Patch hasn't been a part of any single one of those, so no flesh heap stacks later on. But looking at the farm, mid lane Slash Strike 20-3 compared to 14-2. And the gank that happened, I have to say Lion, he was level 3, so maybe just had he gone for 2 points into that Earth Spike, I'm not sure if that would have been enough, but a little bit of extra duration and damage would have definitely been nice. I mean, Hex is nice as a disable, does no damage though, when level 1 Earth Spike, low duration stun, low damage.
Yeah, Massacre canceled his TP to the top lane by mistake, it seems, and he had to walk out to the lane. Either way, it is a Midas pickup for the Wraith King, as you and I mentioned earlier, so that'll help accelerate his farm. He's already at the top of the net worth and farming very well. Padrino does opt for the early tread, so is looking to fight on the Stealth Assassin as early as possible, but expected Grisine with that level 3 and level 2 hook to roam around, but he TP's back down to the bot lane and isn't finding anything quite yet. But there will be a wave rotating underneath the tower, so he will find perhaps his level 4 with this.
Top lane though, Illusionist, he's gonna go down, so Massacre, just Battery Assault, even being level 2, does quite a lot of damage with the help of Levi being there. So they get the 1 kill. Massacre actually has a lot of levels for an offlaner, especially considering he's died twice as well. I guess him having that much XP is in correlation with his deaths, just because if he has played it more safe, wouldn't have the XP, nor would he have the deaths probably. But I think it's fine, man. Level 5.5. Hookshot, that's the more important thing for them to have.
Yeah, definitely. So actually in the mid lane, they found Slash Strike, and they're diving further onto Illusionist. There's the phase shift, but it's not going to be enough for Hockey. He's going to get slowed down. He's throwing the orb out. Will not jump behind the tower, but they do find a kill onto Slash Strike. 3-2, 2 unanswered kills going the way of BBC, and they've started to claw their way back into this one. Ricky farming very well, on par with the Wraith King, 34-18 to the 34-7. Slash Strike will pick up his phase boots and TP back into the mid lane. Illusionist going to get bottled up a couple of times from him as he leaves the base, and will be able to stand outside. Tranquil's now picked up as well for Grisine, as well as his level 4.
So top lane, one thing I would like to maybe see is something like that Magic Stick on Rock Snack, for example. Any kind of mana. Maybe he's going for straight off power trades, especially up against the Clockwork with the power cogs. You have to be extremely wary of your mana pool.
Yeah, definitely. So holding on to his skill point right now, he's got 2 in stats, 3 in the Wraithfire Blast. So maybe only going to pick up that Reincarnation if he needs it, but he doesn't look like he will at this point. Farming fairly well, and the Wraith King is almost eclipsing the level 7 mark, about on par with Padrino, a little bit ahead of him, in fact, by virtue of those couple kills on the Clockwork. Grisine has finally rotated out of lane, found his level 5. He's sitting in the mid, soaking some XP in the face of Hockey.
So Wraith King, he's going for a Soul Ring. Oh, but the Earth Spike connects some Rock Snack, but the nice telekinesis stops the initiation for a little while longer. So a moment, completely saving Rock Snack. He would have been able to skill up, I think, his ultimate anyway if it was really necessary. But what do you think of a Soul Ring Wraith King in this case?
Yeah, Soul Ring's always nice because it does allow you to get off the Reincarnation right before you die, if that's the case. Levi going to cut his way into the trees, but yeah, with a 1-position Wraith King, not sure you really need the Soul Ring. I mean, he has opted for a couple of points in stats, so that should give him more than enough mana for a Wraithfire Blast and a Reincarnation more often than not. Grisine looking for a hook with the Ice Vortex there, not going to find much though. Massacre is going to rotate down, look for the hook onto Illusionist, and he'll get hooked himself into the tree line. He should fall here. He's blocked in with the Rot. Nicely shot by Grisine. And Clockwork going down for the 3rd time in this one. Unfortunately for him, he'll have a full magic wand when he gets to base. And Padrino pushing out the bot lane, but still a nice win for HoG. 8 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot more aggression like this from Grisine as well in the future now. Especially if he hits at level 6. Just solo killing support is going to be extremely easy. If you land the hook at least. Mid lane though, HoG using the another Dream Coil for a kill on Slash Track, definitely worth it as well. Slow down the Death Prophet, pretty much slows down the entire team usually.
And Levi getting a little bit closer to the Finger of Death with that kill as well. Zenigata has found his level 5 in addition, and they are doing fairly well, looking for their level 6s. 9 minutes in are the supports for BBC. Massacre having to walk back up to this top lane once again.
So coming back to the Soul Ring for a second, the more I think about it, I think it's maybe not entirely necessary, but still a pretty nice item for him to have up against the Power Cogs mana drain, but most importantly Lion with the mana drain.
Yeah, definitely so, and with the cogs into mana drain. Padrino is here, but he's going to get scouted out by the Sentry Ward top lane. He'll get telekinesed up. Wraith Fire Blast, Fade Bolt is there as well. He'll be able to drop the smoke screen, though, and blink away to Massacre. So, unfortunately, is not able to set anything up there. Grazine, a little bit too late to find a hook as well. But meanwhile, mid lane in the river, Slash Strike's been silenced up with the Ancient Seal. He's trying to bottle up and get away here. A few more right clicks from HoG are there. He's going to get hexed up by Levi. Blink in, Padrino finishes him off on the Ricky. Nice kill once again. Third death for the Death Prophet thus far. And he's farming well in terms of CS, but overall fourth on net worth.
It's so important for them to keep the Death Prophet down. Without the Death Prophet being there, there's not going to be any objectives gained for House of Gamers, whether it be just towers or Roshan even, and HoG has himself a blink on the puck. Looks to be already being a hell of a lot of a better game than his Ember Spirit in game number 1. So we'll see with the blink there how much he can actually accomplish.
Yeah, he'll TP back to base and grab that up in his inventory. So doing very well on the puck thus far, third overall on net worth. Padrino's going to find Illusionist bottom, blink forward, one more needed. He'll throw the Ice Blast out for good measure, but Padrino with that haste rune will be able to run away promptly thereafter, and there's not going to be any kill potential on him. Grizine TPing in a little bit too late with the hook, and won't be able to find much there. Rocksnack is alone top lane, but he will have support inbound from a moment. This is scouted out, though, by a Radiant Sentry Ward, so they do see his position and can look to hook in on him. And it looks like Massacre is waiting to do so. He's actually going to walk right up to him, but there's the jump forward. Waning Rift from HoG. He's going to coil only on one. They will Ancient Seal up Rocksnack, and the Arcane Bolt will finish off the Rubik. Nice hook shot as well from Massacre, finding the AA as well. And Rocksnack going to have to turn tail and run. He's the last one standing here. He'll make a nice hatchet cut through the trees back towards his tier 1, and that'll stave off any aggression from BBC. But they find the two supports. Grizine on the high ground is looking at Hockey here, but he does have the phase shift and will scout him out. Finger of Death, though, from Levi is going to bring down Slash Strike once again in the mid lane, and all that was needed was a smoke screen, a couple of blink strikes, and that Finger of Death. Slash Strike going down for the 4th time overall, 8-4 after a 3-0 start for HoG.
Definitely Rocky. I mean, Grizine, he's not even level 6 still. This Podge, I mean, all he has done thus far in this 12 minutes, one hook, that's it.
Yeah, it did garner them a kill, but yeah, he's certainly been ineffective, and taking him or making him come out of the off lane, certainly not the easiest game for him. So either way, probably not the best drafting decision. He was a 5th pick, so very interesting coming out from HoG. Either way, Tread's finished off now by Hockey, and he's looking good on the puck, 3rd overall. Padrino also looking good, only surpassed by the Midas Wraith King at this point. And Broxnack pretty much had total free farm, but it doesn't seem that BBC is too worried about that at this moment.
So at the moment, BBC looking good. Hockey though, telekinesis up. The Ice Blast did miss, but it's enough for the kill reason. Even used the dismember for it. So finally Punch, a part of something as well once again. So they get the kill, but the huge difference between at the moment House of Gamers and BBC is that Ricky, he can effectively solo kill, especially when he finishes up a, well, never mind, not gonna be defusal. Yasha still nice, some extra movement speed, extra agility as well for the backstab, but Brave King effectively cannot solo kill, at least not yet.
Yeah, Yasha picked up here for Padrino, as you mentioned, and that's pretty darn good for this point in the game. Levi is looking perhaps to build into a blink, saving 1,200 gold on the Lion. Slash Strike still quite a ways away from that Yule's. Dying 4 times has really hindered her ability to progress in terms of items. Bot lane, though, smoke up from Grazine and Illusionist. They're looking to find Padrino as he pops here, and he's going to rotate around the west side of the tower, and he should be just fine to rotate through. He's looking for a support behind the tower, not going to find one. And rotations are inbound as well from Slash Strike. So top lane, we may see some aggression happen, but TPs are in bottom from Massacre. Pedrino gonna look to scout something out. Rocket Flare does scout out Grazine here. He's got no TP, and he'll get hooked. Well placed from Massacre. Jump forward from Pedrino as well. Will get off a couple of right clicks, and Massacre finds the kill there as Illusionist TP's out in the tree line. Meanwhile, top lane, Levi gonna be telekinesed up. Waning Rift is there from Rubik. That was stolen. Responding Waning Rift. They're gonna get a Hex off on Vroxnak, and unfortunately gonna have to jaunt to the north is Hockey. Wraithfire Blast will not be landing, but it will have his TP canceled. Vroxnak, however, gonna go down. That's his Reincarnation 1, and Hockey attacking very slow. He'll be able to phase shift and jaunt down to the low ground. He'll get the Waning Rift off as well, and 2 more right clicks from Pedrino should be able to bring down Vroxnak, and they do. Crypt Swarm is here, however, and Pedrino, under the cover invisibility with this Ancient Seal onto Slash Strike, will be able to make it out. Ice Blast is gonna fly short, not gonna hit anyone. And a nice little engagement for BBC. The Illusion's going to scout out Hockey, but he will be able to jaunt back down into the trees. However, Ice Vortex is there. He's going to phase shift nothing and won't get the blink off. And a little bit of a misplay from Hockey there. Phase shifting a little bit early. He could have got that blink off if he waited just an extra second. Sentry Ward is going to scout out Pedrino. Hook is going to miss from Grazine, though. He'll still get off the Dismember. And the smoke screen will go down, but Crypt Swarm finishing off the Ricky. And Zenigata is going to get dropped as well. Concussive Shot looks to be stolen from a moment, and that's exactly what it was. And after a good engagement from BBC, things going all the way to HoG's side. And they will be able to translate this into a tower push with the Exorcism at the ready. Going to be popped now by Slash Strike.
Yeah, it's level 2 as well, so this tier 1 will definitely go down. Of course, Cliff delaying things out a little bit, but I cannot stress enough how important it was for House of Games to actually get those kills. Otherwise, BBC definitely looked like they were kind of snowballing. But there's the Dream Coil, they want to go in still. Oh god, they're dropping pretty low. Vroxnak does not have his ultimate, but he's gonna just go down. He went a little bit too early
Zenigata
on.
is in by himself. The Ice Blast gonna fly through and hits on the Skywrath. Grazine gonna go down underneath the cogs. Will Zenigata shatter here? It looks to be just fine. He's gonna have to drop below 85 HP, and he will be okay for the time being. Illusion is backing out, but once again, just a bunch of back and forth in this one. And BBC finding the favorable trade here. Rocket Flare from Massacre comes out. He has the Blade Mail at the ready. No hook shot for another 45 seconds though, but he is chasing down this AA with his 375 MS. He will be able to cog off the TPing in Grazine, but he'll find Pedrino with a hook. However, there is immediate response from Levi. Mystic Flare will be there, and they'll finish off Grazine. Nice Hex from Levi onto the Pudge. He's not able to dismember Pedrino. Pedrino looking to go even deeper onto a moment. He's got the smoke screen at the ready, and the Rocket Flare will scout out the Rubik. There's the blink forward. Lift and the Waning Rift, though, from a moment will be there. Massacre going to use the cogs onto the TPing in Vroxnak, and he will be a little bit too far, but the Yule's up from Slash Strike. There will be a Wraithfire Blast here. There's a Crypt Swarm as well. Massacre should fall, but the Earth Spike is there. One more right click, and in fact, the Fade Bolt is what's going to kill off the Clockwork. Jump in, though, from Pedrino. He'll find a moment's Rubik, and he'll be able to extricate himself under the cover of his stealth here, and things looking good once again for BBC. Pedrino looking to find a smoke screen in 1 second. He's got help inbound from Hockey and Zenigata. Jump forward. The coil is on 2. Vroxnak's Reincarnation goes down, but the hook from Grazine is going to find Pedrino. No detection yet still for HoG, and they will bring down Hockey for his troubles, but they still haven't been able to punish Pedrino yet. Where are your sentries, HoG?
I don't even know what the hell has happened, of course, the past couple of minutes. It's just both teams going a little bit too deep, but then again, I think still BBC probably come out slightly ahead, mostly because Podge, he bought back. TP to the tier 2 died immediately after that as well, and Lion has himself a blink now. And I just have to say, so much silence from BBC. Smoke screen, Waning Rift, Ancient Seal as well. I mean, Brave King, usually, yes, he doesn't care that much, but his stun is actually a big part of him being able to just right click as well. Also, not getting too much farm, although he's number 1 in net worth, mostly purely thanks to the Hand of Midas, I believe. But now with the Exorcism going for the Roche, that is always one thing that House of Gamers will have. Every Exorcism they can put just for the use of an objective.
Yeah, and they will be able to take this Roche completely unbeknownst to BBC, so definitely an excellent play by them. A little bit of a recovery mechanic. Rocket Flare is going to scout things out, but it'll be a little bit late coming out from Massacre, and he may look for a return hook shot and find a straggler in the back, but won't be able to do so. BBC does know Exorcism is expiring here, though, and as it does, there's a Yule Scepter up onto an Illusion, and they will use quite a bit there. Pedrino going to jump in. He's going to bring down Vroxnack, and that is no reincarnation. Illusion is next to fall as well under the coil. Ancient Seal is going to be popped on a moment. Mystic Flare not even needed, but Zenigata will find the kill there. 3-0. Actually, Levi dropping there, so 3-1 overall, and they do find a favorable trade after the Roshan. Death Prophet holding onto the Aegis, wondering why instead of the Wraith King the Death Prophet has an Aegis. He could have dropped his Stout Shield for that, and Wraith King a lot better Aegis holder than is the Death Prophet.
Oh god, well, arguably Wraith King has double lives, but so far it's only level 2 ultimate, so man, things are just so rough. Although both the Wraith King and the Prophet are still reasonable farm, but so are the Ricky and the Puck, even the Clockwork for that matter, to be honest. It's just really all for me, or not all maybe, but most of it boils down to, well, Slashstrike getting hexed up, Lady. He's going to go down in return probably if Slashstrike keeps on chasing. Yule Scepter's up, by some time Ricky gets illusions in the meantime, Levy definitely goes down. But in the backlines, Ricky, how much can he actually do? There's the stance coming out, Mystic Flare stolen by a moment as well. Pedrino does lose his life, Zenigata, don't think there's any escape from him. He has a TP, oh god, the hook is dodged, but the Great Fire Blast, just low enough cooldown. So once again, just teams, they keep trading so damn much.
Who is winning these engagements? If the game continues to go on like this, I mean, I guess you would have to favor HoG in the sense that their late game is a little bit more scary, and that they do get the Flesh Heap stack starting to build up on Grazine. He's got 8 of those, so not too shabby considering the start he had.
Man, it's so hard to say who's doing better. Well, if you look at the graphs, I guess it's a lot easier. It's just about a 2k lead now for BBC, which has dropped down by about 2,000 as well. XP about almost a 4k swing even, only about 800 now in the favor of BBC still. So also Gamer's not looking all that bad.
Yeah.
It's just mostly, if you compare the patch to the Clockwork, it's just horrible for the patch. But at least it's level 11, so has a level 2 Dismember if you can ever use it. There are going to be so many silences, disables, battery assault. I mean, not an easy patch game.
No, and it looks like he may be saving for a blink here. He has 1,200 gold in his pockets and hasn't bought anything quite yet. Massacre looking for a hook under the cover of smoke. There is a Yule Scepter up onto Pedrino, however. He will hook into the backlines. He'll find Illusionist. Pedrino going to get blown the heck up. Illusionist will fall here, and actually a moment going down as well. Oh no, he blinks out with the Ricky blink. It caught me off guard a bit, and Slashstrike will finish off the Clockwork. So Massacre trying to find some return kills, unable to do so. Meanwhile, the Wraith King picked off elsewhere. Grazine looking to find something. He's going to get coiled up. He'll go down as well, and absolute pub stomp going on here, folks. Crypt Swarm is there. It's going to finish off nothing as Hockey was under the cover of Phase Shift. Slashstrike's Aegis is going to go down, and Levi will rotate in with a nice play there to keep up his puck. And overall, very nice trade for BBC. 5 for 2 goes their way.
Man, just Putke, why? It was a nice hook onto puck, but immediate phase shift. Coming out of the phase shift, Waning Rift, patch can't do anything. Then there's the Dream Code to follow up. Also the Death Prophet. Slightly mistiming that Crypt Swarm when the puck was still in the phase shift. Had they gotten the puck kill, it would have been maybe somewhat acceptable of a trade for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bottom lane was nice, killing off Ricky. Blink Strike. To be honest, Rubik has played pretty damn well the entire game, stealing the Blink Strike a couple of times, getting his hands on a Dream Coil once at the very least, then having that Misty Flare as well.
Yeah, he had Waning Rift at a point too that did pretty well in a couple engagements. So yeah, a moment certainly playing well on this Rubik. But yeah, as you mentioned, very nice solo pick, but across the map, BBC punishing them for it, taking their one position away as well.
So Wraith King definitely needs to just start being a little bit more impactful. I mean, late game, it's hard to say if Faustus Gamers have it clearly, just because there's a lot of mobility on BBC, and Wraith King just isn't the greatest one position carry. Of course, arguably Ricky isn't either.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much the supporting cast can accomplish. To be honest, later on, the Dismember might play a huge factor as well.
Especially if he
the
gets
patch
a
can
blink.
somehow get a BKB, for example.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he lays looking for a Force Staff. Is Grazine. He has picked up that Staff of Wizardry now, so perhaps that little bit of mobility and positioning will allow him to do some more work either way. Rocket Flare just going to scout things out bottom and drop the wave a bit, but it looks like this tier 1 is going to be sacrificed from the side of BBC. They do have the glyph and should be popping it to delay things out here, but they'll forget to do that apparently. And the Ice Blast will fly out mid, not going to catch anyone. And they will be able to defend their tier 2 as well from the side of HoG. Blink back from Vrocksnack. He's picked up his poor man's BKB. In the blade mail in his stash, as Ricky is about to pick up his full BKB coming over on the courier for BBC as well. Hockey gonna pick up his Yule Scepter, full Yule Scepter presumably at this point. Yes, it is. So he'll be, excuse me, a lot more survivable on this puck.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty nice addition, and all House of Gamers, maybe if Rubik can steal a silence or anything like that, try to kill him while Padrino sees Vrocksnack, who has his ultimate, so should be fine, has a blade mail as well, activates it. Padrino not going to go for it, but the hook shot lands onto Grisine. Once again, the Pike will be unable to do anything at all. Padrino even Blink strikes him. Pike still alive, finally goes down as the Ice Blast will connect on through. Padrino with his BKB though cleans up, so it's a 2-for-2 so far. Padrino drops so damn low to the Exorcism. Do they actually have some detection? Oh yes they do. Was just still in the center range. Massacre now. Vrocksnack will have the blink. No, never mind. The urn is there, but Yule Scepter catches or cancels the TP of Massacre. A 2-for-5 is gonna be the end tally for them. Finally, House of Gamers get a proper fight, and they only lose 2.
Yeah, big Ice Blast from the bot, from Illusionist coming in, and he's pushing out the bot lane now. He's got 1,000 gold as well as his point booster, so will be only 2k away from that Aghanims, and that'll be devastating against a lot of these low base HP pool heroes of BBC. So HoG certainly not out of this one, and after a very, very poor start, Slash Strike has really found his stride. He's picked up the Yules as well as the BKB, which helped keep him up in that one, and he's working presumably on his way to a Shiva's, if not an AC.
So this fight, exactly what House of Gamers need as well. Not only do they get closer to the items that they want, like you mentioned, some of them, so also BBC, their item progression will be stopped, and also it was a 10-second BKB on Ricky. Still, that's just the power of a Death Prophet. If the Exorcism, especially if it's a level 3 Exorcism, if it just is close enough to you and focuses you, there is just almost no escaping that unless you have maybe a massive weave on you by Dazzle, something along those lines.
Right.
Although I have to say Ricky, he's up to 20 armor, so he should be fairly tanky up against it, but still not enough to take it solo, just because his health pool doesn't really support it.
Yeah, and he'll get bursted down by some of the magic damage as well. They're going to expend a lot of their disables on him just in order to lock him down. Ancient Seal goes out bottom onto Grisine, TP out from Zenigata. Smart play from him, and Grisine not going to find much in that bot lane. Still only 8 flesh heap stacks for him, as he was brought down fairly early in that top lane engagement. Either way, things stagnating for the moment. Massacre has found 2 components of his Aghanims, 1,700 gold away from that, on top of his blade mail, urn, magic wand, and those tranquils that he picked up earlier on. Not much else in the way of item progression, and Vrocksnack not found much aside from that blade mail, but he does have 2k in his pockets.
So if you're BBC at the moment, do you just lay back a little bit, wait for the next items like Basher and Ricky, or do you go all out aggressive? How confident would you feel in your late game just prowess?
I definitely feel somewhat confident in the late game, but I feel like with a Clockwork and a puck, you probably do want to make things happen early and often, and I feel they need to establish more vision. If you currently take a look at the Dire Vision on the map, they see the Radiant Vision sees all of the Dire heroes, but the Dire Hero Vision sees a lot of the Radiant jungle, whereas the Radiant Vision isn't seeing all that much aggressively. And with a Clockwork and a puck, you don't want to be picking people off. As top lane, a moment is going to telekinesis up Padrino. BKB comes out from Slash Strike. He's dropping fairly low though quickly, and the hook back from the Grisine is going to be onto the Wraith King, and they'll bring down the Death Prophet, but the Ice Blast is going to fly through, bring down Massacre. Padrino dropping low as well. He won't be able to shatter though. Levi comes in with a 2-man impale and the Finger of Death. He's bringing Vrocksnack low as well. He tries to TP out. One last right click though will finish him off from Vrocksnack. And overall, a 2-for-2. Slash Strike getting focused down. They're going to ping out the Ricky, but he barely walks out of the sentry from the cliff range there. And still favorable trade overall for BBC as they bring down the Death Prophet and only lose the Lion and the Clockwork, but either way, able to defend their tier 2 is HoG. Yeah, I definitely feel like BBC need to be setting the pace though, and with this 8-second BKB from Ricky, I don't know that they need to be sitting back and farming. They really need to be finding some pickoffs because they don't have the greatest push lineup and they need to be killing people in order to get buildings down, and the more Roshans they let get up, I feel like the more advantage goes towards HoG. They just generally have pretty good pit fight.
They most certainly do, and I have to commend Pedrinho for the last fight as well. Just going on completely tunnel vision onto the Death Prophet. That was exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it was necessary as well. You cannot have the Exorcism just go around freely in the fight for the entire duration. And with that in mind, Slash Strike, do you actually maybe go for a Ghost Scepter just to make sure you're absolutely safe while BKB'd?
Well, it looks like he panic bought a recipe on the courier for the Shiva's Guard as he went down, and he's only 400 away from that Mystic Staff, so he will be able to pick up a Shiva's fairly soon. Grizine's going to pick up a haste here, so but yeah, Ghost Scepter would be a very nice pickup, I think, for Slash Strike eventually for him. It also gives him a little bit of stats as well. Pedrinho going to run into Grizine, who's hasted up. Levi will not get in range for the Earth Spike, and the haste rune is going to keep Grizine safe for now. Ice Blast. Nope, didn't fly out. Thought I saw it. Oh, there it goes. And it's going to land on 2. But just going to tickle Pedrinho and Zenigata. Not quite that Aghanim's upgraded Ice Blast yet. Still 1800 gold needed for Illusionist.
The last fight rather as well, Ricky, not only did he get the Prophet down, he managed to dodge the Ice Blast. Had he gotten hit by it, definite death right there as well. But the Illusionist, he did die in the last fight to Billy. Mid lane, they get the stun onto Levido. Oh god, the crits from Rocksnack. Okay, that was a Lion, but he is no longer. Of course, Lion, one of the lowest HP pool supports, and he has 0 strength item, like literally 0, or not even a magic one for those free strength.
Yeah, nice little solo pick off there for Rocksnack. That'll ping him his level 19. He's picked up a Maelstrom as well. Probably build that into a Mjolnir. A lot of instances of damage coming his way, so not a bad item. Definitely needs the attack speed as well. And Shiva's now complete for Slash Strike.
So Ricky, with the Basher, definitely a little bit stronger than he was previously. But mid lane, oh god, the Champ Puck, he goes down first. Massacre might be next, although Pudge, he's a casualty as well. And well, Puck, somehow never mind, he even escapes, so it was just a 1-4-0. House of Gamers, they went for the aggression, yet came out the losers.
Yeah, it could have fooled me. I definitely thought Hockey went down as well. And Pedrinho sitting on 1200 gold, not going to be involved in much of this. He's got his 8-second BKB as well as the Basher and the Yasha, so it'll be interesting to see. Perhaps he builds into a Manta here to dodge the Death Prophet's Silence. Or even a Wraithfire Blast if he times it super well, but can just build into maybe an S&Y. Maybe he looks to build into that Diffusal to help burn the mana of Rocksnack and give him that chase potential with the Purge. But Slash Strike is going to back off wisely so in the bot lane, so no kill potential quite yet. Rocket Flare is going to scout things out in the mid lane, but just looking to push the wave up. And it looks like Aghanim's going to be built up here by Massacre in about 10 gold.
So in this game so far, if you compare the offlaners or if you just look at the Pudge, how highly from a scale of 1 to 10 would you rate his just effectiveness in this game compared to, for example, if they had gone for a Centaur?
Are we talking negative numbers here? I don't know, I'd probably give it a 1. I mean, really, he had that 1 kill in the top lane and hasn't done anything since. If he was able to get up a Blink Dagger, I could definitely see Dismember doing some work on the Puck or even the Lion, holding down any of these high control heroes. Jump forward from Pedrinho, though. This is very optimistic. He finds Illusionist, but he's trapped in the tree line now. He'll get the smoke screen off. He'll be able to brink out into the cogs. They'll bring down Slash Strike. That's a huge kill. No buyback on the Death Prophet. Massacre is going to get stunned up, but the Battery Assault is ticking away. Eul Scepter onto Rocksnack, and they're going to hook forward onto a moment. They'll find the Rubik, completely ignoring the Wraith King. He'll be able to blink away, and Illusory Orb will fly a little bit short of the Wraith King. 4-0 though. Actually, Levi somehow died in that. Not sure how that ended up happening, but either way, 4-1 going BBC's way. They can go high ground here. No buybacks available on any of these heroes, but they will ping out Roshan as their next target of choice.
That was actually Grizine getting a pretty much full duration dismember into a hook onto the Lion.
Prize.
But Lion, he got the Hex off before onto the Death Prophet, and that was necessary to kill the Death Prophet as well.
Yeah.
The Cogs followed into the easy Mystic Flare setup, and now, oh god, Roshan, can they actually do it though? They don't have any sources of minus armor, and they are already backing off as well. Mostly because, well, they just lack the vision you were talking about a couple of minutes ago. They still really haven't remedied that at all. But Jinyu though, looks to be going for some solo kills, or at least hunting for some. Rocksnack definitely not an easy target, but the Illusionist, oh god, even the hook shot comes in. Rocksnack can't help out at all, runs into the smoke screen. Gonna get silenced up. Hook defensively, I guess the better choice here anyway, because more heroes were coming, but...
Yeah.
House of Gamers, I mean, they were looking good at one point, but really unable to do anything with that. BBC, or rather House of Gamers, they don't have the best, like, let's go and team fight now.
Yeah,
situation
really,
for
it's all on the
BBC.
back of a very good Exorcism, and in the last couple engagements, as we've seen, BBC done a very good job of bringing down Slash Strike early, but they are a little bit late to the party in terms of Roche, and they are looking for more pickoffs here. There is a dire Sentry Ward scouting things out, but no Observer to couple it with. They will get a Yule's up onto a moment. He will get forced back, however. And that is his own Force Staff keeping him up. He gets a steal off. That will be the smoke screen from Ricky. Hook is there onto Padrino. He'll pop his BKB though. Hook shot is going to whiff from the Clockwork. They'll be able to bring down one. That's the Rubik. But Ice Blast going to hit very nicely. The Exorcism is there to follow as well. Hexed up Rocksnack will be able to blink forward and chop down one. And that will be Massacre's Clockwork. That's a 3-0 thus far. They bring down a moment, 3-1, and they will take the rest of this Exorcism duration and dive into the Roshan pit. They've still got about a quarter of it here, so they will be able to tick him down to about half health before this expires. And Grizine going to be able to drop a Dismember as well once they pop his Spell Shield, probably with Cold Feet sometime soon. It doesn't look like they'll be doing that, but they'll bring down the Roche either way pretty quickly, and Padrino not in position to contest.
So, excellent fight coming out from them, just BBC going a little bit too deep for that. Just, it was only for a Ruby kill more or less. Maybe they felt confident enough with Punch, just having used his Force Staff as well, being less than less than half HP, I think it was at the time. But finally, 35 minutes in, Illusionist does purchase a gem. Not the biggest fan of him purchasing it though, just because Aghanim Scepter would be such a great upgrade to have.
Yeah, definitely so, against, like we mentioned before, the low base HP pools of BBC, and the BKB also dwindling down for Padrino. Level 6-second BKB now, so he'll be ever the more susceptible to that Ice Blast and the Magic Damage Toolkit. Not sure that they wanted to go in their mid lane. Very nice hook from Grizine, seemed to start things off and force out the BKB from Padrino. The hook was also somewhat of a panic hook from Massacre, and then they were able to force up to the high ground on the Pudge and take the engagement on their terms. So well played from HoG. Good Exorcism there once again, so definitely something we talked about. The Exorcism really is the key to these engagements. If they get off a good one, HoG wins. If not, it seems like BBC is becoming the victor of most of these engagements.
The one downside for BBC will of course be BKB's duration on Ricky. It's down to 6 seconds already. I mean, Exorcism goes through it anyway, but still you're gonna get stunned by Rayfire Blast, Telekinesis, whatnot. Even Ice Blast will do a little bit more to you.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be somewhat of a worry, and he's going for a Butterfly. I mean, definitely any kind of agility will be nice, thanks to the backstab, of course, just multiplying the damage, but how useful will the Butterfly actually be in this game?
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot to blow him up in terms of, you know, the Exorcism. They have the Dismember. It feels like he's been Mystic Flared quite a bit as well, at least before the BKB pickup. So, or not Mystic Flare, I should say, Ice Blasted quite a bit before the BKB pickup. And so it'll be able to tick him down once that Aghanim comes out as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, the gem's going to set him back. So it definitely will do some work versus Rocksnack. I don't think he'll be picking up an MKB anytime soon. But he is holding on to 3,800 gold. So if they become privy of that Butterfly pickup, maybe that's his next item choice.
Definitely might be worthwhile as well, because really for BBC, eliminate Ricky and it's more or less all threats gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of control still available, but not enough follow-up and damage from the rest of BBC's lineup. So definitely the focus will be on the Riki, and it's indicative of their thoughts in terms of the gem pickup. So they will look to amass bottom lane and push in this tier 2. They do have the Exorcism at the ready, and BBC is a little bit out of position to defend this. Only 3 TPs in their entire lineup right now. HoG and Padrino lacking a TP on them, so it should be a pretty free tier 2 going the way of HoG. No immediate trades in sight for BBC, but they will group up towards the top lane tier 2 for HoG, and there is a glyph here, so HoG certainly can mount a defense.
We do have a pretty huge pickup though for BBC, namely the Hex on the puck, so that might be the thing that can win them a fight, but at the moment looks like BBC trying to go for a trade of sorts. I mean, HoG is in the base, but if Slashtrack just pops the Exorcism, which he might, although sometimes you would want to use the Exorcism after you have the Aegis popped. But never mind, he's gonna go for it, full HP anyway. Glyph comes out immediately, and BBC, they are gonna have to react, because there's no way they're gonna trade as fast as just House of Gamers is pushing.
Yeah, they're both susceptible to a hook shot here. Massacre is at the ready. They'll bring down the tier 3, jump forward, miss on the impale from Levi. Coil will go out on only one. The hook is there from Grizine. Levi drops low. He'll tick down to the Exorcism. Grizine gonna pay with his life. Ice Blast is gonna fly through, not gonna hit on Zenigata, however, and Slash Strike is getting chopped down to Padrino, but he'll Yules himself up. Wraithfire Blast goes out onto Padrino as well. Meanwhile, in the backlines, they pick off Massacre, and so far 1 for 2 going the way of HoG. They bring down the range racks and the tier 3, and it looks like they will be able to remove themselves from any danger, still with the Aegis available on Slash Strike. A little interesting that they don't at least consider continuing to go forward, but either way, small win for HoG there, and 5,500 gold now on Vroxnax Wraith King.
I mean, they of course can't see the buyback status, but I still would have thought that they maybe stay for a little while longer as well. Like you mentioned, they still had the Aegis. They also still had that Reincarnation ready for Vroxnax, so I don't know why. Maybe because the Ice Blast didn't have the biggest impact. Had the Ice Blast connected, or had they managed to kill off the Skyraf as well, would have been a little bit better for them. Still though, Heart of Tarask down on Slash Strike now. It's gonna be even harder for them to actually kill him, just even with the Hex duration. Vroxnax though might get caught, but like we mentioned, has the Reincarnation. Although Slash Strike, he's gonna get hexed up, but he has the Aegis. Can they actually even kill him? They need way more damage than they have so far. Padrino will come in, goes on to Grizine. Big AB pops, but the Ghost Scepter on Grizine will save him for now. Yule Scepter on Death Prophet buying some time, and Padrino, oh god, Big AB already ended. Silence up as well. They need some stuns though, anything at all. Shiva's card will connect, slightly slow him down. In the meantime, Vroxnax will go down to Levy, but he used his Finger of Death to pop the Reincarnation, and I think the Wraith King had like 100, 200 maximum.
Yeah, he probably considered that he was about to die regardless, so just using that to kill off the Reincarnation. Padrino gonna be able to remove himself from the situation, but 1-0 going the way of HoG. They bait out that BKB, and it's now down to the minimum 5 seconds if it wasn't already for Padrino. Might have been 6, may have been 5 there. Either way, yeah, even with the Butterfly, like we mentioned it, he's still fairly squishy, having to run away from pretty much just Crypt Swarm, Waning Rift from the Rubik after that Telekinesis, and Shiva's guard proc. So they do have the Exorcism still ready after that engagement in the mid, and will be able.
Oh man, Zenigata, great presence of mind. Probably somebody called out that the Ice Blast is flying. He was up to like 400 HP. He force-staffed himself out of the base, waited for the Ice Blast to land, and then came back into the fountain.
No buybacks available on anyone but the Wraith King right now. Everyone short of gold. The closest to the buyback, 200 away, is HoG's puck. So, interestingly enough, HoG gonna probably recognize they don't have many buybacks there, and they won't look to go any further. The Aegis is also down now, and will not be up for at least another minute and a bit.
Look at the gold on Vroxnax. 6.6k gold. What do you go for? Is it Abyssal Blade AC?
Abyssal Blade would be a very nice pickup for Padrino under that BKB for sure. AC helps out with the push and the Death Prophet's Exorcism, so I would like that there. And it looks like he will opt for the Abyssal, as you mentioned. So definitely a fan of that. Could have gone MKB, but it seems like from that top engagement, they do have enough damage from other sources to bring down this Riki. So just locking him down with the Abyssal Blade active is a little bit probably more valuable to the Wraith King. It also gives him quite a bit of damage, and he'll complete that instantly and have that ready in his inventory for the next engagement.
Is this a little bit too greedy, or is it exactly for the fact that with this item, we're going to be able to actually win their next engagement, so I'm not going to need the buyback anyway. And of course, he's always going to have the backup of one of his lives.
Yeah.
To be honest, maybe against BBC it's not that bad of a choice, just because BBC, they usually do not have enough manpower to kill off the rest of House of Gamers while they kill off Rock.
Pedrino may run into this here, but Gem probably not close enough. And yeah, Slash Strike actually going to run right by him, doesn't see him. Yule's up onto the Skywrath though. There's the silence from the Death Prophet. That's kind of weird. It looked like a Death Prophet silence.
It was the smoke screen there.
Okay. Either way, I was wondering why is the Wraith King silenced from that. But Flutter used from Pedrino, he'll be able to get away as well as the Skywrath Mage. And yeah, I feel like with that Abyssal, going back to your point, Exorcism will be able to tick down Pedrino under that duration of the lockdown there. So they really, probably I don't find it too greedy. I really feel like I find it necessary. As you mentioned, it will allow them to probably win a next engagement. Grazine has 1400 gold, not found anything at all in this pudge, but he will get that level 3 Dismember now. So finally gonna grab that up. He'll do a little more damage and be able to lock down that Ricky through his BKB as well as the Abyssal. So things really boding well, I feel, for HOG's engagements hereafter, as long as they don't get jumped on and blown up too quickly.
I mean, to be honest, this Pudge, although he hasn't done much, he is still acting as kind of a meat shield, if nothing else.
Yeah.
He's still directing a couple of spells on him to make sure that the Dismember doesn't get full value and something like that. So as long as the Pudge can get at least like one disable out from BBC, that's probably already going to be fine. And he most likely won't even die to it, just because he has the Force Staff and the Ghost Scepter now as well. So the Pudge may not have a lot of farm, but his effectiveness, I think, now is a little bit higher than it was earlier, maybe even.
Certainly so. Yeah. And we do have the full Hex, as you mentioned, quite a while ago. Haven't really seen the virtue of having that on Hockey yet, but maybe they're able to bring down Slash Strike in one of these engagements with that, albeit he does have a 6-second BKB and the Yules and a Heart of Tarask, so certainly going to be difficult to do so. It looks like Halberd is being built into from Massacre, and with no BKB on the Wraith King, that should be a pretty effective pickup. But like we said before, with the Abyssal Blade onto the Ricky, they can probably bring him down just with the Exorcism alone. So definitely going to be worried for his ability to survive, Pedrino that is, in these next few engagements. Levi's picked up a Ghost Scepter of his own, so will be a little bit more survivable. He's been dropping pretty quickly in most of these engagements.
I mean, at the moment, if you do the clockwork, if you get that 1800 gold, do you immediately buy up the Talisman of Evasion, or do you save for buyback rather?
That's a great question. I don't believe most of his team has buyback. Yeah, only Pedrino and Hockey have buyback at this point. So maybe for now you look to buy that out, knowing that the threat from HOG is probably impending. Although Roche is not up for 2 minutes. So yeah, I don't know that you know it is the right click that they're worried about so much. There is a lot of damage still for the Clockwork to worry about, and the Ricky. So perhaps at this point you do save for buyback, and I only say that because he does have the Aghanims upgrade, so he will be able to continuously hook and delay things out, push people out with cogs. Ice Blast will fly to the top lane, probably is going to hit Hockey here, and he won't be able to phase that up, but that'll do just a bit of harass damage to him. Still, full Aghanims now on Illusionist, so that 17-second duration being super annoying, and you see how low it's bringing Hockey, and he's one of the more tanky heroes, at least as compared to the two supports on BBC.
Well, Puck does have a lot of gold now, at least as well. I guess something like a Shiva's card wouldn't go amiss for themselves. Slow down the entirety of House of Gamers, get some extra armor against Exorcism as well. Although somebody get Vlads, get AC, like anything to help really. But
AC
at the moment,
would
House
be a
of
very
Gamers,
nice pickup for HOG, but
but
doesn't
Puck
seem like anyone's.
Is Puck a viable carry? Well, never mind. Puck, full out AC, no buyback needed.
Yeah, he's really not a viable carrier, but anyone is when you really need the plus armor versus the physical damage here from the Exorcism as well as the Wraith King. So definitely a nice pickup for their team, and Ricky probably better off spending his money on his Abyssal, and he's got 4100 gold and certainly can buy up that relic, but as you mentioned, probably saving for buyback at this point.
Well, at the moment, it's kind of the case for BBC that will it even help if only that one hero has the buyback? I guess it depends heavily on where the fight actually takes place and what level the heroes are that die. Puck will be dead for a really long time.
And I think a big
92
question
seconds.
too as well is that if Ricky has buyback but he doesn't have BKB, is he going to be useful at all? I feel like for that 5 seconds with Magic Immunity is really the only time where he can do a lot of work. So probably better off having the Abyssal for the 1 life and being able to bring down or at least bring low one of these priority targets like the DP or the Wraith King. Either way, smoke into the Roche pit from HoG is pretty risky at this point. Everyone really is in a position to defend this, but there's no Radiant Vision over the pit right now, and they're completely blind to the fact that this is happening. They will scout it out, however, with a Rocket Flare, and Roche only at 50% HP, and they can look to jump in off of this. Hockey with the blink at the ready. Hook is going to whiff from Grazine. Jump in. Waning Rift on 2. Hook is there. Cogs are going to split things up, but Slash Strike is dropping pretty low. He's doing a lot of work, though, and Padrino is going to get hit with that Ice Blast, as well as a lot of damage from the Rot. He'll tick down and shatter. Hook out onto Slash Strike, though, may bring him down with the Mystic Flare and the Finger of Death. They will drop the Death Prophet. Instant buyback from Padrino. Blink up to the high ground from Levi. Force up from Zengata. Grazine looking for him. Does find him with the hook. And well played from the Pudge. That's a 3-for-1 going the way of HoG. Even with the Death Prophet down, they can look to take Roche. Padrino not willing to engage all by his lonesome.
And Ricky immediately bought back as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you can try to farm now. So if you can get that magical 1.4k gold now, it's 100% you just finish up the Abyssal Blade just because you won't have buyback anyway. But the buyback might have been a little bit too hasty. Not entirely sure. I guess if you would have had more heroes survive that, Ricky could have even rejoined it, but just not the case. Lion does pick up the Vladimir. Maybe a tad too late. In the previous fight would have been nice, but then again, Ricky won't be able to benefit from that lifesteal. It would just be mostly for the armor. I mean, you can benefit from the lifesteal, just not when you're Ice Blasted. And the Ice Blast in a Roche fight like that, it just got way too many targets.
Yeah, and now there's 3 lives on Vrocksnack. There will be the cheese, probably for the Death Prophet as well, as Illusionist currently holding on to that. But Death Prophet, one of the better cheese carriers in the game. And with an Aegis cheese, they should be able to go high ground here, especially considering Ricky has no buyback. The only 3 buybacks in the game are all owned by the Dire. Jump forward, Force Staff out from a moment, but he will play with his life. Padrino going to get abyssalled up, however, the hook shot will land onto Padrino. Ice Blast is going to connect onto 3. Hook back onto Massacre. They may be able to bring down this Clockwork, but Hockey jumps forward with a Waning Rift. Will bring down Vrocksnack's first life. Blink in. Grazine is the next to fall as well. Hex up on Vrocksnack, and HoG getting way too aggressive after that pickup without Slash Strike. He's going to pop the Shivas, though, and may find Massacre in the trees. Hook out from Massacre. He's going to try and get away. Finger of Death is there, and it'll bring down the Wraith King. 1 return kill goes the way of Slash Strike. He'll pick off Massacre there, who has no buyback for 70 seconds, but the Wraith King down for 80 plus, and as long as the Pudge and Rubik are down as well, HoG not able to continue to move on, and very nice job from BBC to punish them for stepping a little too far forward without Slash Strike.
Yeah, even getting Illusionist here as well, Ricky just found him. Even without the Hex on Lion would have had enough damage anyway before the TP managed to succeed. But Padrino did go for the ultimate orb. Might be a Hex, might be a Scud, you will see. A new gem is purchased by Ancient Apparition as well. I mean, doesn't really need any extra items, would be massive luxury. Manta style though, finished on Padrino now. I guess that was the ultimate orb. It's going to be decent-ish, and if they can somehow replicate that kind of fight, they can still actually win this game as well, because they have only lost that 1 range reaction, which happened close to 10 minutes ago by now already. I think, at least I would like to say it was that long ago, but oh god, the moment he's going to get caught again. Cannot even react at all.
Yeah, easy pickoff for Padrino. He's even going to cut the wave while he's here. A little bit aggressive from him. Grazine jump forward, looking for the hook. He's going to stop cast it though. Creeps were in the way at the time, and top lane going to be pushed out by Slash Strike. He's got 3,200 gold as well on him. What do you feel like the next item for this Death Prophet is? Probably an AC of their own for HoG?
I would think so, but Slash Strike in a lot of trouble now. But the hook onto Padrino, if he can get the dismember on the right target. Nope, cannot happen. Slash Strike will get forced up. He's still alive. Uses fuse as well. He needs to survive this, absolutely certain. Nope, he goes down. At least he has buyback. Grazine goes down as well. Will have buyback. They're going to get Padrino now, who does not have buyback for another 2 minutes. So can they go into the enemy base fast enough? The bottom lane is pushing out. They don't have boots of travels, I do believe.
They have one, and it's only on Slash Strike. Yeah. But they have a lot of time here, as you mentioned. Actually, Boots of Travel now picked up as well by Vrocksnack. So they got 2 sets here. And maybe they look to TP down, but no, they're going to find Hockey out with the Eul Scepter. Hook and the Crypt Swarm are going to miss. Shiva's guard is going to be there, however, and Hockey going to have to use the Eul Scepter. He will be able to phase shift once again, but he will be able to blink down to the south. One right click will follow him, however. He's going to shatter to the Ice Blast from Illusionist, and Hockey down for 90 seconds without buyback as well. So a minute and a half here of a window for HoG to march down mid lane with the Exorcism ready. And they will be able to put a lot of structural damage at least into the tier 3 of BBC. Only buybacks available right now are for the Ancient Apparition and the Wraith King. So despite that misstep mid lane, looks like HoG will be able to finally take Rax here, if not at least the tier 3. But looks like Raxes are going to be down at least one lane.
Yeah, just going that deep into the base is always scary. You don't know if the enemy has buybacks, but also Gamers did, and that was turned everything around. Levy, he gets jumped, but a nice hookshot Rocksnack. He's gonna lose his reincarnation. They're spiked up as well, but it's just buying time for the Rax to go down. Although Rocksnack, if he dies now, he will still have buyback. Yes, he will. Oh, the hookshot into Massacre. They get the Dismember as well. Never mind, Better Assault cancels it immediately as, well, usually the case. Levy just goes down to the Mjolnir damage of Rocksnack. They lose the range Rex, melee Rex will follow, but they can't actually go for supersized Mega Creeps. Do they go for tier 4s, or will they just be satisfied with double sets of Rax?
Probably take 2 seconds to Rax and back off here. Ricky going to be up in 10 seconds. Hockey up not too long after. And it looks like they'll just do some collateral damage to the buildings as well and back out and be content with their spoils. Not exactly sure why Rocksnack felt he needed to jump forward there. I feel like they could have just smacked on the Rax uncontested, but either way, he feeds over his reincarnation, so they will have to back out. No Exorcism up as well. Hook shot from Massacre, not going to find any fish. And they will bring down 2 lanes of Rax.
Money changes hands.
If he only had the Abyssal Blade, maybe he would have been able to kill Slash Strike.
There's still cheese up on Slash Strike, so not sure he would have been able to do that. Probably just a
Lion
TP
was
out.
close by as well, though.
Oh yeah, Levi was close, so certainly some kill potential there. Probably couldn't TP out under the Basher anyways. Padrino attacking pretty quickly at this point. Unfortunately for BBC, Roshan not up for a while, and HoG well aware of that.
Look at where Massacre is fighting the creep wave. Oh man.
Yeah, he's had to drag it out from the base. 2 siege creeps there. And in the mid lane, things pushing in heavily. No Raxes taken, so complete momentum going HoG's way down this mid lane. And even the bot lane's pushed in pretty heavily now that they do have the larger creeps in that lane as well. Circled out is the Radiant Jungle. Levi is currently residing there, as is Padrino. Do they have the gem ready? They do on Illusionist. They should see Padrino here, and they will, but he barely gets the BKB off before the Wraith Fire Blast. He's going to drop and try to fight, but he will be able to blink away to the west. However, Shivas will catch him out. Hex goes out onto Vrocksnack. Padrino has been telekinesed. There's the Earth Spike onto 1 from Levi, but it looks like Levi, Cold Feet proc is there. The Cog's doing a lot of work right now, and it may allow them to escape here, but Cold Feet proc out onto Padrino. He's got no BKB. Icy Vortex is going to be there as well. He's going to blink away, and he will disjoint that Wraith Fire Blast. Hook onto 2. He'll bring down the Rubik, and there goes the Finger of Death into Slash Strike as well, but the Ice Blast is going to connect on 2. Slash Strike does go down here. He's down for 120 seconds, but Massacre dropping fairly low under the Ice Blast. Hockey has jumped forward. Instant buyback here from Padrino, and they're going to need to back off from HoG to not give him some value out of that buyback. Overall, Death Prophet goes down with the cheese available. Very interesting. I was expecting her to pop that there, but a moment going down very early as well, and everyone surviving except for Padrino, so definitely still a small win for HoG. However, no buyback available on their Death Prophet or the Rubik, and they may just lose this lane of Rax mid.
They might even lose more if BBC played this correctly. I mean, that chase from House of Gamers was way too long. The Prophet felt so comfortable, didn't even use the BKB, I believe. No cheese, no BKB. That's just a huge mistake. Plus, the 3 heroes of them ran into a hookshot. Oh god. AC is purchased up fully by the Wraith King. His buyback... Well, actually, he's lacking buyback. 30 gold short of it. So they might just give away this set of racks. Although, look at the Radiant base as well. Already lost 1 tier 4. But if BBC can get at least 2 racks, maybe even 3, they might still win the game, man. That chase, Ricky's surviving there as well. I have no idea how. Oh, the hook
shot. He's going to get the BKB off. Abyssal will be there, but the Abyssal response from Vrocksnack is there. Ice Blast going to fly through. It's going to connect as the BKB expires, and Padrino is down without buyback. Levi drops as well in the backlines. And there will be a blink forward from a moment. They're going to catch a Wraith Fire Blast onto Massacre with the BKB. He won't be able to hook out. Instant buyback from the Skywrath, but Padrino being down for 100 seconds. He'll call GG, and HoG 2-0 victory. Heavily favored BBC here will lose 2-0. Very well played from HoG. No Weehaw, of course, playing here for BBC, but either way they'll move on to face Scary Faces, and the winner of that will be in the losers bracket final up against the loser of the winners bracket final and go on to the grand finals. So we are HeflaTV. Coucher, last thoughts on this game from HoG and how it panned out?
Man, from Podge, all it takes is one hook to decide the game pretty much. And
Yeah.
just really well played by House of Gamers. Although the Podge pick for the most game didn't do much of anything, still they made it work.
Yeah, they definitely did, and we saw exponentially his influence on the game increase. He almost tunnel visioned in the mid game Levi in a lot of those engagements, and as soon as he dropped an impale, was able to take out the Lion from most of the team fight. So definitely well played from Grizine to have had the abysmal start that he did, and able to recover either way. Good play all around. Slash Strike, definitely a big influence in both wins for HoG here out of that mid lane. But thanks for joining us, guys. This is HeflaTV. I am MRP Dota. Find me over on Twitter at MRP_Dota. My co-caster at Coucher. Names are in the title. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, with some more and perhaps with some DAC tonight. So stay tuned in. Twitch.tv/HeflaTV1. Throw the stream a follow. You will know when we are up. But if we don't cover some DAC tonight, tomorrow, certainly 17 CET. Winners bracket, a London Conspiracy versus Duza, and Scary Faces lowers bracket versus HoG here. So thanks for joining us, guys. This is HeflaTV, MRP, and Coucher signing out.